Okay, so the concept behind Stoicism, right? And in my class 2 days ago, I was talking to my teacher, and I started business analysis, remember? So I was talking to my teacher, and I took notes about that day specifically because I wanted to kind of like come back to some shit. And I'm gonna read these notes. Amazing, by the way. Like I don't. So that was my first class in business analysis, right? And I liked that I did well. That's why I liked that I did well because I was building a concept in my head and working with the teachers actually making me feel like I know what I'm doing well in the establishment part. Remember, I've been trying to research for a while and trying to consider stuff for a while. This is actually like there's like a feeling coming out of me, like it's a positive feeling coming out of me because right now me reading these notes is reminding me of how I was feeling in the class and my competency in the class. And it's not really by comparison, it's by just the fact that I'm seeing things in a different way, or I'm actually trying to use what I read when I read the book, what I use in the book and the things I took notes of in order to actually like build. And so here's the fun part because like I don't remember what I took notes of, but still the feeling of understanding the questions and the objectives behind them and being able to like dissect the problem is relatively what all we do. So like I felt kind of like proud that day and I was like happy. And maybe that's why it was like when I went to see my family, I was like on a high level, like feeling completely. And now, so I'm writing an email and I'm trying to create a new format for, remember, this is work, right? Because I'm like, there's something evolving in me and that comes with its own stress. But anyway, so right now I was writing the the answers to what the template of for description for the template of description for graphic designers for the graphic designers. So sorry, man. Like the name needs to change, but it's still the first draft. Fuck off. Okay, so my graphic designer basically, I told her to write me some questions of what she wants in order for her to have a very smooth way for her to start to basically get the job done, right? Because I want her to be completely in her zone. If I'm going to work with you, I'm going to have to rely on your skills, your thought process. I'm going to have to understand all of these things. So basically, her message is I need to know the concept and message of the flyer and what are the goals. Second one is I need to know the target audience for the flyer, tailor the design to their interests, such as their old and nationality. So far, she's doing great. I need your logo and color schemes so that you can use any of the brandings. Okay, amazing elements that you want me to use, such as symbol in your branding and blah, blah, blah. I love how she's explaining it to me as well. I need contact information such as a website, location, email, phone numbers. That's easy. I need high quality pictures of the objects that you have to use in the case of the same plastic tanks are not available on the internet. Well, whatever. But I'm going to be answering all of these. I was trying to answer them. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. So I was trying to answer them and I kind of like think from a formality of a template. And while I was doing that, I was picking the color for the bullet points, right? Because the way I describe stuff is basically I nest inside each other. Like I write something and I like write bullet points under it, and every bullet point could have two, three extra bullet points, just like deeper and evaluating the things that are included in it. I have no idea, but like in my head, it makes sense when you pick the actual topic and you're dissecting it. Effectively, what you're doing is you're expanding. But then as you expand, you dive into details. And if I were, I should start doing this, by the way. Miro. I should start basically trying to explain how my logic is working or how my thought process is working. Can I switch? 1 second, I'm going to try something. So, anyways, I'll worry about that later, man. I kind of like. Sorry, I'll get over that later. I started getting in my head with it again and thinking about different things. But anyway, so when you're expanding in something, it's like there's a dot and then they become two because like in no whatever you're diving into is basically the construct of it. It's the do I okay I don't know. Do I so let's take for example paper. You have to understand paper better. You kind of have to figure out more things about paper. So ultimately, I can paper. It's made from wood. There's something where they are chipped, and there's something when they are cooked or boiled, and so like I have like five things I can dive into, like probably machinery for chipping and machinery for like the processing. And then I go basically, okay, tree, what kind of tree? Like I know now I could consider different trees, and then from there I have to consider different types of wood, different types of paper. So I kind of create a mind map into diving into whatever papers are about if I want to understand more about it. So, but your mind map, what does it do? It just keeps expanding and expanding because there's always more and more and more and more and more points until it clicks. And what do I mean clicks? Because ultimately you get to a point where there's just too much detail and you're not really getting all that out of it. It starts feeling repetitive. It starts sounding the same, right? Like a detail from one side about paper could be like chipping, uh, like the processing of the actual chipping of the paper. And then another detail would be like the chemical chipping on the paper. And so basically, they might share standards. They might share similar words. They might share similar thought patterns and approach and how they're being done and constructed and thought about. And when you do that, so basically, you start taking more of these like minute mundane details and kind of like connecting them. So what happens is the tree as it expands from one all the way to like a lot. Let's just say a lot, man. Some things are 20, some things are like hundreds, but you don't realize, you don't fucking care. All you care about is just understanding more, diving in, just more stuff, more things. And when that happens, that's where your feeling kind of like comes in. And I feel it happening right now. Because what's happening over the past I want to say, let's go 3 months, I've been diving deeper and deeper into the process of just being able to communicate with the people at work, being able to level up whatever I'm trying to do in order to understand and kind of like create this interaction that's on a high level. So other people will basically have to take a step forward, or at the very least, they have to be able to like respond in certain ways and in certain depth and detail. And as we build communication, as we build this kind of structure, I'll be able to actually, I'll be able to understand the people I'm working with more, and they'll be able to understand me more. And I really think the key is communication with everything. It was like ridiculous. Like, if you look at communication and you split it, there's communication, and because of that, then reliability is an issue, trust is an issue, competence is an issue, and it's communication. It's never about I'm doing good or I'm amazing. One second. Sorry, man. This is the third or fourth time I paused today. Uh, right now, there was a weird sound earlier. I had to like understand what the hell was going on because I was thinking of a lot of things. But so when they start connecting, then basically your feelings are merging with each other. Let's look at it that way. Like every single thing you learned is kind of like merging into something a bit bigger that has roots into all of them. Because you started with the concept and you dove into it, into all the details, and then the details start kind of like combining with each other to make one full like existences or whatever you want to call them, thoughts, patterns, processes, uh, habits, like whatever it is, like because they represent themselves a certain kind of way, they represent themselves in a certain perfection, in a certain etiquette, in a certain style, and that's basically these become like the things that the way you do things, the way you conduct things. And I started this conversation with like a thought about Stoics, and that was because I went from like those feelings and I was trying to understand what's going on because I'm trying hard to kind of like create a better like separation of colors in order for me to be able to like find the data that I want and just send it to them and to kind of create in a certain way something that compiles them where all I have to do is answer these questions. And when I answer, "Ooh, that would be a good feature, man, on the website." Or maybe I should just fucking do it for the sake of doing it. Okay. Fuck. Okay, okay. Okay, at the very least, I'm gonna code that part alone, separately. Fuck me, man. This is so much fun. This is so much fun. After finishing the template for transferring information to the designers, please check to see how we can write a code that bundles them up into a proper theme. Why not, man? I've been enjoying CSS a lot more lately. In all honesty, I've been enjoying it, and I think it's weird because I never imagined like I would actually like enjoy music as much as I do, enjoy art as much as I do, enjoy coloring as much as I do. And it doesn't happen on its own, right? You have to give it a chance. That's basically it. I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that are just beautiful around us, man. And what we do is we just don't give them a chance, maybe. And maybe that's a good ending for the Stoic starting point. Because how would Stoics handle situations when they're being too rigid or when they're being too flowy? Flowy, what do I mean flowy? I just mean like, if you're not understanding what's going on, you're just going with it, but you're not understanding it. You also have to handle it as a Stoic. And if it's a bad place where you're just like upset or something, you handle it as a Stoic. And if it's a very good place where you're happy, you handle it as a Stoic. Interesting. I like it. Not bad. Sorry, man. It was a horrible video, but I'm going to post it the way it is. Thank you.